I was born in former Yugoslavia.
I am born in Bhutan.
My origin country is Iraq.
I was born in village in South Sudan.
And it was great. I mean, life was good. Parents worked, were happy, party a lot and work hard. And I was in a school at the time.
I was happy, village life. Yeah. Parents.
It's very good memories in my country.
My father owned farms, cows, goats,
The area is very beautiful.
the river that flows, the scenic beauty, the structure of the land, and few very close neighbors.
The people, they have very good hearts.
Village life was okay. And until when the civil war arose in the country.
Then, just suddenly, one state separated himself, the other state separated himself, and the wars began, and people started getting killed.
After that, many things changed.
People were asking for their cultural rights, their freedom of speech, the democracy in the country, the freedom of religion.
Massacres already happening and people being killed. And my parents thought, oh, never it's going to happen here. This is oasis of peace, it's going to be all great, and not even a month later, a couple bridges blown up, windows, our house windows got blown out, and just refugees, flooding the city from neighborhood cities and villages, and it was just chaos.
The government started killing the people, throwing into the river, putting them into the jail.
Till then, I was a 15-year-old kid. I liked to play basketball, spend the entire day outside, and enjoy yourself, until next day you are a grown-up man.
My father has to leave the country every evening, go to the forest, live whole night, come back to the farm, work for the day, go back to the jungle to save the life.
One day I was in the village in the neighborhood, playing with the kids, child of that age, 6, 7, and in the village by culture, would just play somewhere in the neighborhood and expect to come back later on. And then we find our village, being attacked, and it was kind of noise. Nobody knows what was going on, and there's a gunshot, and people begin to run.
And nobody saw you as a kid anymore. They saw you as potential soldier, potential target, or somebody, can come out, on the front lines and fight.
We ran, we couldn't come back. I was separated from my parents.
What mattered really, you're going to wake up next morning, being killed, and you're going to have some kind of food, not some fancy good food, any kind of food. That's what it totally changed. Your basic needs just went away. All the rest went away, just the basic needs stayed, and you focus on that.
Most of the people start to sell their window to bring the food in their house.
We were given 13 days notice to leave the country.
We kept walking, and then we find ourselves in those camps, refugee camp.
We took a truck from the village to the border between Bhutan and India, and crossed the border. And from India and came to Nepal by the truck and ended up in the refugee camp.
We must leave everything behind us.
The refugee camp life was so horrible and miserable.
Felt more like a prison or military base. You get your ID, when you leave, you have to leave your ID. When you come back, you gotta grab the ID. So you don't know who is in, who is out. With a barbed wire around.
It was rough, like any life in a refugee camp.
It is hard, and it depends for what I had before.
The refugee camp was bounded by the fence, and we had to stay within the camp, not allowed to go outside.
The food was expired food or about to expire, and it was sometimes mold and all kinds of other stuff.
Not enough food, and not enough shelter, not enough water.
We used to have water from local stream.
Not a good education, no enough clothing.
I remember it was capacity of the refugee camp was 1,000 people. There were 5,000 registered in.
Close to 100,000.
We had no television, no electricity, no phone system, no internet system, nothing.
We just had enough. We realized that it wasn't safe. felt a little fear again, going to the new place, a place you don't know. Where's the Syracuse, I found out there was 7 different Syracuses in America. I'm like, am I going to the right place?
I was so excited and very much glad to be here in Syracuse.
It's more better than before.
It was exciting. Yeah, it was exciting. It was fun.
What I knew, it was from MTV, the TV and stuff like that, movies, that was the US that I knew. I didn't know anything about Syracuse.
Begin to talk about the future. Come 18, 19 by that time, so I began to know that going to America was good. That it was fine. There would be great opportunity for me.
It was April 20th, 1998. It was a rainy night. I remember we landed. Again, it was a bunch of people expecting a little, welcoming community in Syracuse.
It's kind of like a friend moment and family moment. And the next day was a snow.
People used to tell me that you're going to get used to it. You're going to get used to it. But it has been 10, 11 years so
It's
far.
still not used to it.
I'm not used to it. Not yet.
The first thing, my health is not good when I came. They sent doctor with me.
Came to US, started from very, very low level and grown up, and it's so much change.
People from here, they smile and they welcome us, and they don't know us. This is the first time.
The people are very helpful in this country.
And really, we found very good people to help us to set up the first time when we came here.
I didn't know the language. I didn't have a car at the time, transportation. And what about turn? You have to drive, and nothing is close.
The language is a problem.
Because I don't know English very well, if you don't understand the word, how you can solve the question?
I knew there's the only way. That's the only way to sustain life in this country is to learn the language, And I forced as much as possible, reading, writing, speaking, and trying to speak to Americans,
I go to TNT, I go to tax force, I attend almost all meetings, I go to city hall, and police department, everywhere, and I go to the markets. So everywhere I meet the people that I know, that I do not know, so it's so passionate, so welcoming.
I was always the person to help, never ask for the help. But now I have to ask, and in this cases, a lot of cases, when we first came, beg people to help us because everybody's just so busy,
I have my full-time job, I have my business store, I do community service, I like to be a sportsman, I have to take care of my family, home, my parents, and as a community at large. So it's managing time is very challenging for me.
I'm not with my family. This is very hard. We miss that a lot.
Like America is melting pot. Just look at us.
Mostly the refugees come here with a new hope, with the thought of contributing to this community and be a successful man in this country.
I appreciate everything. United States, they gave it to us, really.
I feel very much American.
Feel like home, yes.
Life is good now. I can't complain. On a house, and we got a couple cars, living that American dream.
So much change. My heart changed. My feelings changed. My life changed from top to bottom, bottom to top, everywhere.
It's not a thing that will turn overnight. Today I speak Burmese, Chen, and tomorrow I speak English. It's a process. It's a growing process. It's a cultural process of learning the language, a culture of the language, that will take years and decades sometimes, for certain people, at different ages to learn that. To be patient and be persistent with the friendship.